Good day, colleagues. I see Nhlamolo is already sharing her presentation. Thank you so much for joining us. I see the recording is on. Nhlamolo, can you hear me? Just want to make sure.
Yes, I can
You have.
hear you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
You're welcome to share your video.
This is it.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, this is it. Yes.
Okay, I think we can start. Thanks so much for joining in, colleagues. I'm very pleased to introduce Nhlamolo Moja from FL Smith. Nhlamolo, am I pronouncing it right?
No, sorry, I'm no longer with Ethel Smith actually.
Oh, sorry, that's what I got from the registration document,
Yeah, no, it's
the
okay.
responses.
It's
You
alright.
can let us know which institution or organization you're with now.
I'm actually a freelancer now.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay. And I understand you have a passion for instructional design.
Yes, I do.
And today you'll be presenting under the how-to series or category, simply showing us how to simplify learning in Articulate Storyline 360. You have 10 minutes for the presentation, and then we'll have 5 minutes for the question and answer session where you'll be able to engage and communicate with the audience, with the participants.
All right
Um,
then.
you can start. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody joining from wherever you're coming from, whichever part of the world. My name is Nhlamolo Moja, and welcome to the session on how to simplify e-learning in Articulate Storyline 360. So first things first, we're gonna touch base on unformatted information. So I know, for instance, myself, I don't like to read a lot of information. So I like it when it's in a smaller nuggets that are easier for me to understand. And then we're going to look at the same information that was unformatted, but this time it will be chunked and formatted differently. And then we'll also look at gamified formative assessment, and I'll show you another example of a gamified formative assessment just so you have an idea of how to structure your formative assessments. All right, so we can get straight into it. First things first, as you can see on my slide, I have this information about schizophrenia, and it's so much information for people like myself who doesn't like reading. It wouldn't be so easy for me to read. I'll probably just have a look at it once and then just skim through it and then just continue to something else. But I feel like for if it's chunked properly and it is formatted in such a way that it makes it easier for learners to understand and to grasp the information, then it makes learning effective, and then you're able to achieve the goal of um, having to learn online. All right, so this is a layer that is not formatted, and then on the next slide, I have a layer where it is formatted. It is the same information as the layer that you saw previously, only difference is that it is formatted differently and it is chunked. Right, so we have symptoms of schizophrenia. Schizophrenia involves a range of problems in how people think, feel, and behave. Symptoms may include, then it further on tells us that we should click on the buttons below to learn more. So when I click on the button, it will then show me the different symptoms of schizophrenia, right? And then I'm able to read each point at a time. Then once I'm done reading a point, then I can move on to the next and the next. So the information is not all clustered on the same slide when I begin. That way I don't know what to expect until I actually read and click on it. So as you can see on the previous slide, I'm just going to go back so you have an idea. So same information, it talks about schizophrenia involves a range of problems in how people think, feel, and behave. And then symptoms may include, we have delusion, we have hallucination, and we have disorganized speech and thinking. And if you can see on the slide that is formatted, it also has the same thing, just formatted differently. So it makes then learning easier for the learner. And then another thing I'd also like to touch base on is formative assessments. So I personally, I don't like tests. I don't know how many of us in here, we don't like tests. So when it's gamified, then it's easier because most of us, I love games. Definitely, I will play a game any day, anytime, anyway. So if the formative assessment is then gamified, then it makes it easier for me to say, oh, okay, it's a test, but it's not really a test because I'm playing a game. But you're also learning in the process, and the moderator is able then to mark you based on what the results you got from the game. So I'm just going to move on to the next. So this is the game. This is what I call the sentence builder. So on this formative assessment, it is information taken from the previous slide, and then I now require the learner to make a sentence based on what they learned in the previous slide. So it says that click on the words below to make a sentence, then submit. So I need to look at the words and make a sentence from the words that are being given to me. Okay, so I have hearing voices is most common in schizophrenia. Then I'm going to click on submit to see if my sentence is correct or not. And then if I click on it, it tells me that, okay, that is correct. Then I know that is correct. And then with this formative assessment, I have created 4 sentences. However, you can have as many sentences as you want. For instance, you can maybe if you feel like you want to have 50 sentences, you can have 50 sentences and then only require your learner to do 30 sentences, and then you know that every try the sentences are not repeated because they will come randomly. And then from the 50 sentences, then it will pick 30 of those 50 sentences, depending on obviously how you'd like to structure your formative assessment. So here I'm going to click pick another question, and then it's going to load and it's going to give me another question. And the other question says schizophrenia involves a range of problems in how people think, feel, and behave. So this is sentence number 2, and I'm going to click on it, and then it will tell me if it's correct or not. And then if I make another sentence, maybe let's say I make a mistake and I don't put the sentence as it is, then it will tell me that the sentence is incorrect, and then it will say that I can try again or I can go to the next, depending on how you would like to structure, obviously, your formative assessment, and you can modify it accordingly. So in this case, I'm just then going to move on to the next question. So with the next question, I would like everybody to please participate. If you can put on your mic or even just put in the chat box, it would be very helpful because I'm going to need you guys to be with me on this one. It's a game that we're going to all play together. Okay, so this is a crossword puzzle. So on this crossword puzzle, we need to fill in the missing words, and then on the side we have some clues on what goes where. Right. So the first one says that, which is across, it says used in road making, distilled from wood and coal. Anybody want to try that out? Oh, okay, let's try that. Tar. Sorry. Okay. And then the next one says most widely worshipped in Hindu, also SA's butter brand, the most famous butter brand. I think in most households we call it that name, even though it's not that butter brand. Anybody want to try? Okay, I see Rama. Rama. All right, let's try Rama. Remember, whatever that we put, it needs to fill in these. Well, it needs to fit in the blocks that are given. So I'm seeing somebody commented wholesome, which is yeah, okay. And then the next one, number 5, which says sit again or differently. Anybody wants to try? Sit again or differently. Going once, going twice. Reset. There we go. Yes, that is okay. Let's see reset. And then we have having no enclosing or confining barrier. So it's a plural as well. What can we guess it is? Or if you can't get them across, you can even try it down. So the nice thing about this, what the word that goes down is the word that goes up. Does that make sense? So basically, each word makes another word. Each letter, rather, makes another word. Yes. So what's number 6? Having no enclosing or confining barrier. Open. Okay, open. But open is only 4 letters. So maybe let's try the plural of open, which is opens. Okay. And then letters put together. Letters put together. Anybody? Word, okay. So word, then we're gonna put here word. All right, and then if you notice on here where it says down, if it says a weapon attached by wires to batteries causing temporary paralysis, that is a taser, so that is correct. And then make change, that is amend, that is correct. And then a large mice, which is a rat. And then another term for repurchase agreement, which is repo. That is correct. And then number of people in a straight line, which is row. Okay, so every word, every letter rather makes another word. Okay, let's see if we got all the words correct. And then if I click a then it will tell me that, yay, we got it right. You guys deserve a hand of applause. Everybody that participated, thank you so much for participating. That brings me to the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, if you'd like to know anything you need clarity on, please feel free to ask. Any questions?
What I was thinking of, Nhlamolo, and thank you so much for the presentation, is I understand you can actually integrate storyline, articulate 360 in Blackboard. Have you maybe through exploration noticed integration limitations with other learning management systems?
Okay, not really, no, but yes, in this case, you are able to then integrate e-learning into Articulate Storyline 360, where you can also integrate your chat GPT, and then you just give it a code to say that you need sentences on whatever topic that you give it. So like with the sentence builder that we're doing just now, you just ask ChatGPT basically to generate the questions for you. Then you don't have to constantly have to think of a question. I think I'm answering the question.
Sorry, I was
Okay.
muted because there's some background noise on my end. But yes, that answers my question. Thank you so much. I want to see if there's a question in the chat for you.
Okay.
Karin loved the crossword activity. I think that was very engaging. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions, colleagues? You can turn and share your audio. You're also welcome to just, yeah, I don't know, raise your hand, but you should all have the right to share your audio and your video. You can also pop something in the chat. Anything, any question for Nhlamolo? Okay, there's nothing in the chat. Um, So in closing, thank you for joining us, Nhlamolo. We hope you join us for the next few sessions before we reach the end of 4 days. Colleagues, please remember to enter the lucky draws. They close at 1 p.m. SAST, and the links are in the chat. They should also be in the program. They are in the program. So yeah, the entry forms will close at 1 p.m. Please follow the program to enter and join the next session in either Hall 1 or Hall 2, and the next session starts at 12:35 in 6 minutes. Thanks so much.